What is going on, guys? My name is Jordan and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to give you guys a short tutorial on what I like to do to get some close-up photos and videos of my fish. This is a really great method for getting some of the more finicky and fish that don't like to come out in the open. You can get some really good looks at them as well as some great photos. The end result looks a little bit something like this, and if this is something you're interested in, stay tuned because I'm going to show you exactly what I did to achieve that. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so first up I'm going to show you the materials that we're going to need to do this quick little tutorial. First up is a pipette. This is probably the most important thing that you're going to need. I got this from a lab that I worked at, but you could probably pick them up online for super cheap. This is just the plastic ones. I think they're marketed as disposable, but in the fish room you can use them pretty much until the bulb breaks. These are super handy if you don't actually have them in your fish room. I use them for dosing fertilizers, feeding food as I'm going to show in this video, and a lot more other applications. So definitely a worthwhile investment if you want to pick some up. One thing that you're going to notice after doing this for a little while is that it's kind of important that the opening of the pipette is cut a little bit more further up to open up the hole of the pipette. This is important because when we put the food in the pipette, the idea is that it'll slowly fall out of the pipette and continuously feed your fish over a long period of time. So this will allow you to sit back and work the camera as opposed to having one hand on the bulb slowly squeezing out the food. The issue with squeezing out the food all at once is that it'll disperse the food throughout the whole aquarium and your fish won't be enticed to stay in front of the camera lens. This way it isolates where the food's coming out of and it'll keep your fish in front of the camera view so we can get some awesome photos of them. And yeah, so that's the pipette. We'll set that aside for now. Next up, you're going to need a container to defrost your frozen food that we're going to be using. This is just an old container that I got when I bought some super glue, so I decided to keep it. It's pretty good size, and yeah, any container will do. And we're almost done here. And last but not least, is some frozen food. I'm repping the Big Al's brand brine shrimp. The reason why I'm using brine shrimp over bloodworms is simply because the fish that I'm feeding today have small mouths, and I find the brine shrimp just work better with them. But depending on the size of fish that you're wanting to feed, maybe bloodworms might be better. Okay, so first things first, simply I pipette some water out of the aquarium just so that it speeds up defrosting the brine shrimp. So once you do that, pop out a cube of brine shrimp. So let's see if I can do this on camera. There we go. So a cube of brine shrimp into the tube, and now you pretty much just wait for it to defrost. The idea is that once it's defrosted, we'll pipe it up into the pipette. Alright, so now that it's more or less defrosted, it's just a simple matter of pipetting up the brine shrimp into the tube of the pipette. And now we're going to take this over to our aquarium, and I'll show you what I do to set it up. Okay guys, so this is the top of my aquarium. As you can see, I'm rocking an old metal lid from a reptile enclosure. It's just doing a pretty good job keeping the dome lights from falling into the water. And it looks a little bit sketchy, but it actually works out pretty good for this method because all I have to do is simply insert the pipette in between the metal grate, and it does a pretty good job keeping everything sturdy, and I'll try and demonstrate what that looks like. There we have it. So I'm going to cut off the filter to reduce the circulation in the aquarium, and then I'll set up the tripod and we'll take a look what it's like. But already you can start to see that the fish are starting to explore the pipette. They've kind of learned at this point in time that when the pipette goes in the water, it's feeding time. So yeah, let me set up the tripod and then we'll get at it. Well, and there you guys have it. So I got the tripod all set up, and you can see the fish after a while. They definitely get used to it. Even the Amano shrimp are getting in on the action. And yeah, it's Awesome way to get some beautiful shots of your fish as well as closer looks. Right now I got one hand on the bulb of the pipette, so I'm just slowly feeding it out while the fish are having their frenzy. So I'll end this video with a little bit of a montage of pictures I've taken and video that I've taken while doing this method, and hopefully it inspired some of you guys to give it a shot. And if you do, let me know, because I'd love to see what you guys get up to with this method. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Widquatics, and if you do, definitely tag me in your posts. I want to see your method and see what you guys get up to. Alright, have a great day.